Welcome to the Rockhound Podcast. This week we have a brand new guest. Go ahead and take it away.
Hey everyone, this is KDarn89, or some of you may know me as Kelsey. You can find me on all socials at KDarn89.
Woo! All right, welcome. We are so excited to have you on. It's such a pleasure always to watch your very, very spirited videos. And so
I try my best to keep things fun and interesting.
You do. Total success there. Right on.
Yes.
Can't wait to get into it. And hey, a warm welcome back to all of you that are watching. Thanks so much for joining us. And please definitely leave us in the comments where you're joining us from. We love to hear that. I'm Karen from Ozone Fine Art Ventures out here on the Oregon coast. Kyle?
And I'm also known as Mild Kyle from World of Rockhounds, and that was our introductions. Oh, I'm also from Oregon, so.
I forgot to mention I'm from Southern Illinois.
We're all over the place tonight. Woo!
Yep. So with that being said, I believe we have some shout outs from the last couple of weeks. And
we do, yeah.
Before we get into that, I want to say thank you to Kelsey for submitting her video to her Thankful for.
I was happy that I was included.
It was so cool. Even Amy was like, "This is really cool to see see how many people are out there in the rockhounding community." And it wasn't just people here in the States; it was like all over. And so she thought that was super cool.
I know my presence isn't much on YouTube, but I really enjoyed that you guys included me in that, even though most of my content is on TikTok.
That's perfectly okay.
We're the Rockhound community. And I think that a lot of times that gets missed a bit, just because our major platforms for some of us are YouTube, a lot of us are over on different platforms, and the podcast is about rock hounding, and that's like the platform is earth for that, So since we're all standing on that, it was so wonderful to hear from so many people, like you said, Kyle, internationally. It was just such an endearing thing. And so that being said, we're going to go a little bit way back for the shouts, and I'll be efficient with this. Michelle from Ontario, Canada, always is present. New Zealand rocks down or New Zealand down under rocks down under as well, I'm sure. From you guessed it, New Zealand. Kate was checking in from Kentucky. What were you doing out there, Kate? That's interesting. Julie from Ontario as well. Darlene from Alberta, Canada. Do we love our Canadians or what? They're, we got like bunches. Claude from Australia. I'm pretty sure he's the one from Kalgoorlie. I say it right now. Patrick from Tri-Cities, Washington. Tie-Dye and Dawn from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Bob's Rocks from West Texas. I will not sing a song this time. You guys are safe. Marlene from Viva Las Vegas. Rocks Around the Clock wanted to get on the Discord, and what you got to do is hit us up on the link in our email, rockhoundroundtable@gmail.com. It's down in the description, and we'll give you an invite. Those things expire quicker than milk in your refrigerator, and so it's better for us to be able to send you an invite than to leave it in comments from last week or something like that. And so just go ahead and hit us up on our Gmail, all y'all that want to hit us up on that wonderful Discord. It's a fun time. So that giving thanks special, we're on to last week's shouts, and that was like just the most heartwarming onslaught of comments. It just was so much fun to go through. Thanks so much, Kyle. Awesome job with putting that whole thing together. Also, Kurt. Basically the two of them just rounded everybody up, and folks were coming out of the weeds, and Kyle went ahead and knitted that thing together like he was some sort of artist. So
yes, it was wonderful.
I came up with the idea, and then Kurt did the heavy lifting. He reached out to everybody and got them
made
all.
Sure that they sent them in,
Yeah, I'm really bad about self promotion, so it's really awesome of Kurt to reach out and do that. and I just stitched everything together and presented it.
It was gorgeous. Yeah, I just, I just felt the whole community coming together in such a neat way for that. And so seriously, thank you all the channels for sending in your videos. They were totally heartwarming and so interesting to see details about your environment from all over the world, your rock hounding, parts of the world. So you guys all rock. And let's see, we've got some folks from that, like so many listeners and watchers went ahead and left comments. I'm going to shortlist that. So Jim, California Gleanin', these are the people that weren't mentioned before, because a bunch of the people that I mentioned before also chimed in on this one. The Rugged Rockhound, Puliendo Piedras de Costa Rica. Did the best job on that I could. Rock and Roll Rockhound, Geode Cracker and Collector, Ragnar Rock, Sierra Hounder. My goodness. Rock Hounding Life.
These people.
Yep. Wrong. Greek Explorers, Geo Rock Nerd, Timothy Spangler, Rookie Rock Hounding, of course, Jesse. Dustin finds rocks, rock and road rock hounding. And yeah, I think that's it. That was a mouthful, but again, so many great comments.
It was
so much. Those are the shouts.
Thank you.
Yep.
Man, that really was a mouthful.
Yeah. Well, it was just like, seriously, so many people chimed in and they were just excited about the thanks, giving thanks special, and I think it should be an annual thing. I definitely think that there were several folks that wanted in on that, so we'll make sure everybody who wants to be involved is involved next year.
Yeah, there was 31 people in total that were involved with that project, so if you want to be a part of the project next year, let me know.
Yeah, make your video now. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
don't send it in. You can wait. You've got time.
We'll probably make an announcement towards the end of October of next year, so we have time to start gathering videos and get everything ready. But nice. Thank you for the shout outs. And now, how is everyone's weeks, current projects, future projects, etc.? Kelsey?
I am adjusting to new wheels on my Cab King. I got those res wheels and they're mean at first, so my fingers took a little bit of a beating, but I'm finally getting the hang of it. It's like a learning curve when you go to a new, entirely different set of wheels on your cabbing machine. I'm telling you.
Yep.
What kind are they?
They are Cab King's res wheels, diamond res wheels, I think is what it's called.
Right on. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle's thing is always know your wheels.
Yeah. No, that's basically what it is.
They're the very spiny. They come very spiny and you got to break them in, or if you hit your knuckles, it feel good. Then again, hitting your knuckles on any wheels doesn't really feel good.
No, especially on fresh wheels. It's very, very prickly at high speeds.
Yeah.
Toss some agates at them, huh?
Yeah.
Something hard.
So do you use practice pieces to kind of help break them in, or do you just go straight for it?
Well, I had started with agate, but it didn't seem it was making too much of a difference. But I had bought res wheels, a full set. So it started at, I believe, 60. And I could not get that 60 wheel broken with an agate. And I started researching on YouTube and everything. And it seemed like everyone had their first two wheels, diamond electroplated wheels. So I ended up doing that. But for the rest of the wheels, I used a dressing stick. So.
Yeah. Typically what I'll do is I'll have a scrap piece that don't have any plans for. And I'll use that piece to kind of help break in the wheel. I think the last time I did, I used a piece of garnet. I just had a scrap piece of garnet laying around and just started wearing down the wheels a little bit, just so it's not as prickly.
Those wheels are really cool, though. If anyone's into polishing specimens or things like that, I got a piece of quartz that came in some tumbling rough, $6 bag of quartz points, beat to heck. But I saw a chlorite phantom inside the
Ooh.
quartz crystal, and I took them to those wheels, and I'm telling you, I had it polished in 15 minutes. All the faces of the quartz crystal polished within 15 minutes. Polishing specimens on a cabbing machine is a very, very slow process, right?
Oh yeah.
It can get faster though. The more you do it, the faster it gets.
I'm telling you, it was so quick. And I have like probably 6 months experience, but not a lot with specimen polishing. And it was so fast. I couldn't believe it.
Nice.
I know that there's that one rock in that box that I sent you. I don't know if you had a chance to work with it yet, but
Probably the one I can't pronounce.
I call it silomelene. I'm probably butchering the name of it.
I'm not gonna try.
But that stone is incredibly messy. So just be warned, like it will turn your water black. So if you're wear junk clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really pretty.
Oh,
when you get it gone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have calved marcasite that had pyrite in it, and it kind of does the same thing, just black everywhere. Got to wear gloves and, really cover up.
Yeah. So warning on that one. It's messy, but it's beautiful. That's actually one stone I actually have a hard time getting a good polish on. So that.
Speaking of that package you sent, my TikTok is still going crazy over the fire obsidian you sent me.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm still going crazy over the fire obsidian you sent me.
It's funny because like when I was holding it, it looked smaller, but then when you got it, it actually looks bigger. So you probably have smaller hands than I do. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. I bet that's it.
Point.
But I'm glad I made it to you safely because I have a hard time shipping stuff out, and I get a little panicky when stuff is like in transit. Like, is it gonna make it? Is it not gonna make it? Like, that's why
Especially
there's
something like that.
Yeah.
It's one of a kind.
And as you can tell from the amount of tape that I put on that thing, I make sure that it's very secure.
Yeah, it was packaged well.
Do you have any other projects going on this week aside from breaking in the wheels?
Yeah, I'm working with Opal for the very first time. I am tumbling common Opal. I'm tumbling Outlaw Rocks Fire Opal, which is Juniper Ridge.
Nice.
And I've been trying to cab it. And it, like I said, it's my first experience with Opal, and it's just not going well. I have one last big, beautiful piece here. I'm going to squirt it for you guys. I have this one last big, beautiful piece, and I don't want to put it on my saw. I'm so scared that it's not going to go well. I missed the memo that any sudden change in temperature cracks your Opal.
It crazes. Yeah.
I put it on my top station.
Oops. Okay, folks, you heard it here. Don't do that.
I had about 5 preforms, and all of them cracked. Yeah.
No.
So this is my last piece, and I just enjoy it so much as it is, holding it up to the light. But I'm pretty determined to figure it out. But don't do what I did. Be very careful with temperature and lots of water.
Yeah.
You can always polish the piece the way it is.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I really don't want to cut it.
Well, the good news is there's more there, and so you can always get some more if that doesn't work out. But yeah, it even the temperature of the saw and the grinding wheels and that sort of thing, you have to be really, really gentle. Mm-hmm. And the Oregon Fire Opal and even some of the common opals, they'll craze faster than some of the Australian opals. Like they're very unstable. And, the stuff from out at Virgin Valley. I mean, just you look at it, it's like crack.
Yeah.
Why? When I first started, noticing gemstones, opal was my favorite. And it's not anymore. It's not because I don't love it. It's because it is a little rich for my blood. So now I'm a Labradorite fan. It's more affordable for me. And it's a little easier to work with. But I do love me some Opal. I got to get it figured out.
Opal can break your heart, but
it has. It
yeah.
totally has. That is where I'm at. I am just heartbroken over the piece I lost. It was a yellow piece about the same size of that one.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's hurting me actually.
Yeah.
So I think we're all feeling your pain collectively. Although that being said, what's wonderful is, as you temper the language of the rocks, feeling out what you're doing when you're polishing, you'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be that day where you're just like, yes, Opal can be my favorite again.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I can tell you right now, it's still, I'm working on some Opals as well. And it's that right in between total euphoria and having a stroke.
Well, I can say I really admire your work that I see on Instagram. You're very talented at carving too. That's
Thank
something
you.
I definitely want to learn.
Yeah. It's all like, I loved watching you actually develop. I remember when I'm not on TikTok, but I watch you on the Instagram stuff that you put up. And I remember when you got started with cabs, you know? Yeah. And how cool.
I saved that cab too. My very first, I saved it just so I can always look back.
You're like, guess what? I got this machine, and you just blossomed, and it's so cool to watch the learning curve happen. And so you can imagine, how far you come in this amount of time. And that's very inspiring for everybody who's watching you. And then also thinking about like, oh my gosh, then where are you going to be in a year, 2 years, whatever, And so the jump into it and do, if anything, as far as like the carving goes, that's what I would say, like I hadn't tried anything that was like, along the lines of the Rocktopus, or the Rocktopus rather. And you do it like you did with the cabs, and, some of them work and some of them don't, but what ends up happening is success when you keep your nose to the rocks, eh?
Well, I really appreciated Cab King sponsoring me. So that was a big motivation for me to just sit down at the cabbing wheels and get good quick.
Oh, that was super cool.
Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Cab King.
Yes, thank you, Cab King. I had only, at the point that they had sponsored me, I had never cabbed a single thing in my life. So they really took a chance on me. I mean, I could have been a total flop, but
have you worked much with obsidian?
I have tried to cab it, but I have not used the cerium oxide polish. I don't think I have the right cerium oxide polish. According to Eric Takes a Hike, I do not. So I don't think I do. It's not, it looks all right, but it's not glossy. It's not near looking like yours does.
So I buy the Gordon's glass cerium oxide just from Amazon. I don't even know how much I paid for it, because I that lasts me quite a while, because I'm not in the shop every single day. But just that and a carpet polishing wheel. And
what grit do you go up to?
Believe it or not, so the piece that you got, the highest grit that I went off of was a worn 1200 wheel on my Genie. And I'm actually going to work on saving up to, well, actually not saving up. I actually need to go ahead and just buy a 3000 grit wheel, because I want to do a little bit better than what I've been doing. So that's why it's important to know your wheels.
I don't know how it could be improved, though. It looks like the stone's been sitting in water.
So it's a mirror. Yeah.
So the trick is, the smaller the piece is, the less surface area that you have to work, and the faster it is to sand and polish. The bigger the piece, that's where it gets super tricky, because it'll actually show more of the sanding marks opposed to a small piece. And it's another reason why I've been putting off doing a huge piece that I have, because I know that it won't look as perfect as I want it to. And that particular piece, assuming that the layer goes all the way through, is going to be like bright, vivid purples and very colorful. So I don't want to mess up.
I'm excited to see.
I'm sure people will probably be like, how much? I'm going to be like, $1 billion. I guess I got the hair for that now. So
You need your kitty.
yeah, Tucker, unfortunately, is not feeling very well.
Oh,
Still having the baby blues.
Yeah, he needs to get over it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so anything else for your week, Kelsey?
I don't think so. Just working on that Opal. Still
You can do
getting
it.
the hang of that. The new wheels, and I'm gonna go to Lapidary Club this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't get to go very often, but the closest one to me is about an hour and 15 minutes. So I get to go a couple times a month, and it's just amazing. You know, the equipment's nice. All the equipment that I don't have that I get to use is nice, but really and truly, it's the people that I meet at Lapidary Club that is the reason why I go. I mean, they're just amazing. They've been so welcoming, and they have just their brains crammed full of lapidary knowledge, and it branches out even farther than that, silversmithing and on and on and on. It's definitely the people as to why I go to Lapidary Club. So I'm excited to get to go again this Saturday. It's only my third visit.
Nice.
Awesome.
I would say knowledge is worth more than those machines.
Yes.
Yeah, it's truth.
Grab it while you can.
Yes.
Karen, how was your week?
Oh, it was so exciting. So I dropped a short, a little under a minute video about thunder egg, another thunder egg that I cut. It wasn't from my dad's box. If you saw the last video that I like full length video that I did, I couldn't wait. I was just gonna do my dad's box of rocks, and I have some of my own from the blue bed also that I've been dying to take a peek into. So I took one and I cut it open, and that's in the short. Oh man, it looks like shooting stars over water or something like that. But yeah. Those thunder eggs are so darn good. And so that's actually gonna be in the show and tell at the end. So stay tuned for that. I've got a bunch of holiday orders that I have to fulfill. And so I've got like projects like crazy, like this is a complete chaos situation behind me in the studio. I didn't even care to try to put things together because
I think both of you just have a great space. I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, it's almost kind of like I don't know if you guys have this problem, but sometimes when I clean everything up, it's not where I grab it. And so I've got so many back-to-back projects right now that especially in that little corner right there, like everything stays out in that file, and that, burr that I need for the Fordham and etc. is just exactly where I need it. So there's that kind of chaos going on. And then I also have an eye infection, and that's why I'm wearing my glasses tonight, trying to keep a little bit of the glare off of the computer out, because it's a little bit painful. And so forgive me if I'm slow, because everything has been very slow this week. And so that's pretty much what happened in my week. How about you, Kyle?
I finished up a customer order that was kind of for Christmas, so I can't really divulge on what it is yet, but it turned out really cool. It will be a video after Christmas. I will say that it involves sodalite and moss agate.
Oh,
So
you said moss agate. That's one of my favorites. I'm excited to see.
You're excited to see. We actually got a preview, and you are.
Yeah. And then, oh, that's right. I forgot I showed you.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, satellite and moss agate. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Good.
And then I cut off all my hair again, so they'll be back in like a week. But other than that, not really a whole lot going on. I do have a few people asking about some fire obsidian, and I'm going to be helping them out and acquiring some. And so thank you, Kelsey, for hooking me up on those connections. But other than that, it's kind of a lazy week, really.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, but I need to stop being lazy because I do have some stuff I need to get done. It's, work has been busy, and so that is my week. It's just kind of chill, dealing with a cat that is being extra. He's ridiculous, I swear. So we are not neglecting him. I will say that right now. We have given him every food underneath the sun to eat, and he is refusing to eat. He is perfectly healthy. We saw the vet. The vet says they don't feel anything wrong with his intestines. Like he's a perfectly healthy cat. He is just being ridiculous because there's a baby in the house or there's a child in the house, and he can't cope with that. And he's going to deal with it because we're not going to get rid of him, and we're not going to get rid of our daughter because that'd be kind of dumb. Sorry, Cass says you can't stay. We got to get rid of you.
Right.
But I noticed today that he did eat a little bit of food, and it's one of those things where it's super ridiculous because I at one point had 2 different food dishes, and I even put out some wet food for him, which that stuff smelled up the whole house because we never use wet food ever. It's always been dry food. And we'll be eating something, and he'll basically be begging. It's like, dude, you literally have food out in the open. It's there. You go eat your food. And he'll do like this really ugly deep meow. It's like, don't eat them.
Kind of like ugly crying. Like
Yeah, it's gone to the point where we can't leave anything on the counters. Doesn't matter if it's like wrappers or like a pan that we use to cook dinner with. Like everything has to get put away like immediately because he'll start licking that stuff. It's like, dude, like you're ridiculous.
You're gonna have to put aluminum foil on your counters.
Oh, that doesn't faze him. I've tried that once, and he's like, "Oh, what's this?" And he'll just walk right on it. But yeah, just dealing with that. So now that we're done with how our weeks are, let's delve into some questions. Karen,
Yes.
lead the way.
Okay, well, I have to ask the compulsory. How did you get into this crazy rock game in the first place?
Well, I started collecting rocks with my mom when I was a very young child, probably started around 5 or 6. At that point, I don't think we knew that rock hounding was a thing. We were just collecting rocks, walking around old gravel pits, picking up pretty rocks. Crinoid stems were something we pick up a lot because they're just everywhere in Southern Illinois.
Wow.
But later on, I think I joined a Facebook group once I became an adult, and that's what really, really got me going. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, so did you get into tumbling then first? Like how your expressions, because most people, okay, it's a gateway thing, right? Because you start collecting them and then what do you do with them? Like my brother. Yeah, go ahead.
We had rock gardens, and I didn't start rock tumbling up until about 2 years ago. I had joined TikTok and saw people rock tumbling, and then I joined a lapidary group. I wish I could shout them out. I wish I could remember their name, but there's 2 of them and I can't remember which one it was. But they gave excellent rock tumbling tips, and I learned about it, and then I just went and got a rock tumbler, and people were rock tumbling all the time on TikTok, and that's what got me really excited to try it. But yeah, I've only been rock tumbling about the last 2 years.
Right on.
You do a pretty good job, though.
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
The first couple tumbles, you're like trying to get through all the cycles as quick as you can, but then you just kind of get to a point where you realize by doing that, you're making your rocks look bad,
So, it's interesting. So you were talking about doing the rock hounding with your mom and finding stuff. And then, so at what point did you decide, like, okay, I'm into this to the degree that I'm going to start actually collecting and, looking outside of the realm in which I can just collect and, buying different material, trading for different material. When did that happen for you?
When I got adult money.
As soon as I had cash.
Shut up and take my money.
Right.
And that gravel pit that I hunted as a child with my mom, we normally hunted like gravel piles, but I happened to walk past a pile of rocks that were just big white rocks. And I had been studying a little bit about crystals at that point. So I just thought, I'm going to look at them. They were full of fluorite, purple and yellow fluorite. So I think I carried at least 50 pounds of rock home with me that day.
People do not realize what a good workout rock hounding can be.
Yeah.
I think it's underappreciated as like a fitness genre.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
people they have no idea what we'll do for rocks. Like how many hundreds of pounds of rocks will load around for sure.
Sore muscles is a good indicator of an excellent day rock hounding.
Right.
Yeah.
Sore muscles for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lugging. And, if you do any hard rock mining, of course, throwing that pick into the ground and shovels.
That's not something I normally have to do in my area. It's mostly just carrying. So it's usually my legs. I have actually never had to bust into rocks. So that's something I hope to do in the future.
Ooh, yeah. We'll get you into some hard rock at some point. Come out to the West.
Yeah.
Any more questions, Karen?
Oh, I've got a ton, but you can go ahead and throw some.
Let's go with Kurt's since he had one.
Okay.
Oh gosh, we're here.
Where is Kurt?
Kurt
Kurt
is probably Kurt is probably sleeping right now. Lucky guy.
Oh, that's right. He needed some. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know if he pointed out, but so yeah, Kurt is currently sleeping right now because he's just sleeping. And then Theo is super busy right now with a bunch of orders. So that's where they are at. But Kurt did have a question. He wanted to know, what is your favorite find when out rock hounding?
Well, probably the fluorite. I had my children with me that day, and it was just a magical experience for all of us. It was the first time that I found a crystal with color to it. I think I had only found one small quartz geode. I don't want to say it was a geode. It was a point. It's one small quartz point at that point. It was the first time I found color, and I found it with my kids, and it was just a magical experience for all of us. I mean, none of us will ever forget that day. And then on the way home, we saw a rainbow, and it was just perfect.
Nice. It's a good way to end the day.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple questions.
All right.
My first question. Oh my gosh. Okay, I remember now. If money was not a problem and you can go anywhere in the world to Rockhound, where would you go?
Probably, I want to say Mexico. Mexico is home to a lot of my most favorite minerals.
Nice.
Or I would go to Washington State too. I just love the terrain out there,
Well, if you're going to go to Washington, you might as well skip down to Oregon and go to Glass Butte to look for some obsidian, because you might find some fire.
Yeah.
But no, Mexico.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say Mexico is also a good choice, though, because there's some really cool stuff that comes out of there.
Yes. I would love to go bust into a vein of Mexican lace agate. Ooh, that would be so fun.
Right?
Yes. This stuff is very pretty.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Somebody was telling me I had posted something somewhere and they were like, oh yeah, nice agate. But once you cut some opal, you'll be hooked on that. And agate will fall by the wayside. Nay.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with you.
it is so special, especially, the like Laguna lace and some of the really fancy stuff. It's different every single time with all manner of different colors. I mean, yeah, Opal can do that too, but I don't want to discount the fact that agate is amazing. It's almost as gratifying. It's a little harder sometimes. Well, I don't know. They're both difficult to polish in their own ways, but I don't know, like I guess I'm just easy. I love opening up an agate, and I love opening
Me
up,
too.
other material. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think aside from some of the pattern agates, I guess you can call them, like the lace agates, and even the Botswana agates are really nice too. I particularly like the polyhedroid agates that come from, I think they come from Mexico as well, but you can't dig them anymore. So they're really hard to find. They're very expensive. I happen to have 2 in my collection. And
I don't think I've heard of them.
Really? Oh, hang on.
He's ready. He's like, I was just
That's why we're in
waiting for
the
you to
rock
ask.
room already. Yeah. Like he's in the library,
Mine are to the side, but I'm not showing them because it looks nothing like your guys' space.
That's
This is a
wow.
polyhedroid agate.
Wow.
That is its natural shape. And I think they speculate that these filled in the voids of some kind of like other crystal pocket, and then that it deteriorated away, and then you get these. These are super hard to get, like at a decent price. I found one shop online. It wasn't super like pretty material like this. Like this is like kind of blues and blacks. And it was more like clear. I wouldn't say clear, but it was like more white, cloudy agate. But they are huge pieces. But they wanted like $600 for them. I'm like,
yeah.
Even for me, that's kind of out of my price range. But I like the unique stuff. So those kind of agates, and then anything that's super colorful. I have some purple agates too. I think they also come from Mexico or South America. I'm not sure for sure. It's just purple. I'm like, that's unique. So I don't know. I like the different colors and different patterns. Oranges and yellows can be cool too, but I like the uniqueness. That's why I like moss agate, because it's like a snowflake. They're all different.
Yes, I love them too.
Oops.
So one of the things I think that is really interesting about you, Kelsey, is you have been, a TikTok queen, basically. Like you're like the queen rockstress over there. And then, we've got the different other social medias. So how is that whole thing for you? What got you into the TikTok thing? Tell us your story there.
I think really during quarantine, my children talked me into re-downloading it because I had given it a shot before that and was like, oh, what is this garbage? Yeah. But then they talked me into re-downloading it. And, the more that you interact with the app, the better it can tell what interests you, and your feed gets tailored to what you like. And I just decided to start posting about the rocks on a whim, and it blew up. It absolutely blew up. I am at that point in my life, I was just a mom who felt like I had no special talents to offer the world. Like there was nothing special that set me apart from anyone else. And I just decided to share what I loved, that just happens to be rocks, and TikTok was hungry for it. They were absolutely hungry for it. They love it. They love it.
That's amazing.
I encourage anyone who hasn't at least tried TikTok for a little bit to, give it a shot.
So I'm sorry, just really quick as far as that's concerned. So had you done much social media before that? Or was this kind of like your big step into it?
That absolutely was. I just had personal accounts on Instagram and Facebook. Other than that, I had none.
Okay, so people, if you have not heard of KDarn89, or Kelsey. If you go over to TikTok, how many subs do you have over there?
I'm a little short of 250,000.
So you can see the breadth of this, right? Like in the YouTube world, that's pretty big. So, if you haven't seen her yet and you have a TikTok, definitely go over there and check this out. And you share, I'm most aware of you on Instagram because I don't do the TikTok so much. But you can catch her in other places, and you do have a channel here on YouTube. But most definitely worth checking out. Like, such good content, so much fun.
And I think it's a great way for other creators, even if their main account is YouTube or even Instagram, it's a great way to get people over to your channel. I had a rock tumbling video get viewed it's working on 13 million people.
Wow.
Like the world.
And it is crazy. It was Lad Bible actually covered all my videos because of that video that's been seen by almost 13 million people.
Nice.
But I got so many people that went to my YouTube and went to my Instagram because you can link your buttons right there on your profile. Sure. And it's a great way to grow other socials too. Because you get a real shot to go viral on TikTok. And I think it's a lot harder to go viral on. I don't have a lot of experience with YouTube, but maybe you guys can tell me.
It's hard.
It's hard to go viral on YouTube, and you get a real shot of your videos getting seen when you're on TikTok. And it's a great opportunity for people.
I think it helps too because TikTok is it's often shorter content. So people are more apt to watch the whole thing and actually enjoy it and hit that follow button. Whereas YouTube is a little different because it's hit or miss. But for a while, I was refusing to join TikTok or to have a TikTok account. I'm like, I'm not going to download the app. It's silly. I'm not going to do it. It's just like, fine. I'm not going to do it. I don't know what happened, but one day I downloaded it and I did not delete it.
It's because you found your community. There's a whole Rockhound community just waiting for new people to join, and they'll support you.
Yep. And the other thing is too is when you go to look at Kelsey's TikTok account, she posts all the time. So if you're wanting to start your own rockhounding social media platform, keep in mind that it takes a lot of work and continuous posting.
Yes.
Because if you just post a couple videos, you get bummed out that you're not gaining a bunch of like followers or subscribers. It's because you have to work at it.
And the comment section. The comment section is just as important too.
Interaction.
Yes.
That is a key one. Good.
That's great. I think that it's exciting to watch you, and I hated you made me cringe just a tiny bit when you said just a mom. I'm like, no, like never.
Yeah. I am one of those moms that gets to be hard on myself, and I feel like I always need to be doing more. I don't know why I have put these, because I have 4 kids, so I'm a busy person. I'm a Girl Scout mom, baseball mom, basketball mom. I'm busy. But yet I think us as moms just always feel like should be doing more or something like that. I can't quite explain it. As a person of success,
I think that's just drive.
Yeah.
And I think that's got to be part of how come you've risen to where you're at as far as just here on these platforms. But that's just a good quality to have in a person anyway, and a mom too. But just a mom, just drop that just part.
Yeah. I was a mom who felt like I had nothing special to offer.
Yeah.
If Bob Ross were alive, he'd disagree.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
I do have another question though.
Okay.
So, there are a lot of celebrities that do use TikTok just as much as they do YouTube. So, which celebrity do you think watches your content but is kind of doing it behind the scenes where you don't know they're watching?
I have no idea. I hadn't even considered it really.
Could be any famous person.
I
Doesn't matter if
have
it's
had a couple verified people comment on my videos,
Oh, that's cool.
but I can't recall who they were. Because TikTok verification is a little different. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're famous. It means they have a lot of followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know,
We're all human. Doesn't matter if you have one follower or 1 million.
Nah.
Yeah, but I've had a couple verified people comment on my videos, but I don't know. Rosie O'Donnell, she is on TikTok and she rock tumbles. I bet she might. I bet she might. There you go, Kyle. I bet she might watch my
Hook
content.
Rosie there. Yeah.
That works for me.
I think she's so funny, but she posted a rock tumbling video and she had a giant barrel with very few rocks and no filler in it.
Oh wait,
and
she really did?
She dumped her grit down the sink.
Rosie.
Rosie. Oh, she did. It's
That's
still on
okay. She can
TikTok.
afford to buy new pipes.
It's still, if y'all want to catch that video, I bet it's still on TikTok. It's like,
I'm gonna have to find it now. Like,
oh yeah.
Go in the comments.
If that didn't go viral already, it will now.
yeah.
I'll go in the comments and I'll be like, "Hey, you should contact KDarn because she can help guide you with this process."
You need some help, dear.
Also, here's a good number for a plumber.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. That was the only question I had left, unless Karen, if you had another one. If not, then you can go with the show and tell.
Well, actually, I had a question for both Kelsey and then also for Kyle and then all of you out there, because we're always talking to each other, but we're talking to you too, man. And I want to hear from you. So we talked about what we're thankful for, and I want to know, how about what you want? So, what do you want for the holidays? Maybe for your studio, like your biggest hound desire, if you could have anything, what would you get? How about you, Kelsey?
I would get, I have several tumblers. I have 4 and 12 pounds being the biggest one, but I really need a vibratory tumbler.
Ooh, yes. Yes, you do need that. I think the world all needs that.
And I also need a saw, a bigger saw. I have a saw attachment for my Cab King, but I
How big
also
is
need
it?
it's 6 inches, but I need something a little bit bigger. But before I ever got a cabbing machine, I was stocking up on rock this big, anticipating the day I'd have a cabbing machine, not knowing how limited I would really be and how difficult the saw game is. So now I just have drawers full of rocks as big as my head that I can't cut.
Girl needs a saw.
Girl needs a saw.
That's when you make friends at the Lapidary Club. I'm like, "Hey, here's a few dollars if you can please slide this up for me."
Well, I
step in and
get
do
some
it.
slabs last time I went.
Yeah.
But I have so much that I couldn't possibly catch up once or twice a month, I bought quite a bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. You have to hoard rocks for the apocalypse, right?
Right.
We'll all be slabbing.
I've already done that for all of us. I have enough rocks, but I still get more. I guess.
What would you get? Yeah.
Oh gosh. There are a few tools I'd like to get. Several tools, but I would really like to get a paleo tool to start learning how to fossil prep, because I know it takes a long time, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of know-how, but I think that it can be a very therapeutic addition to the hobby to learn how to do. Other than that, I think it'd be nice to have a flat lap for doing flat projects, and oh gosh, I feel like there's one more thing. I forgot.
There always is.
There's always something.
It's always once you get the things, you're just like, oh, but that I need that one thing.
Now the paleo tool is kind of top of the list because, well, I think that and a decent sized air compressor. I think that's what I'd also need.
Yeah, you
to
need that for the pneumatic. Yeah. Air
So
scribe.
that is on my top of my Christmas list, which might be a couple of years before I can afford to get it.
I don't even know what it is.
So basically, it's a really tiny itty bitty jackhammer that you can, and I mean
neat.
tiny jackhammer that you can remove. Exterior. Sorry, I can't think of that word.
The matrix material away from fossils.
Yes, thank you.
Like limestone and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Or basalt in our case. Blah.
Yeah.
Well,
Or,
if you
know,
need fossil plates, I can hook you up once you get your tool.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a hard yes, I think.
Oh man, where I live, there's just a surplus of them.
And like with such zeal, like you are collecting stuff that is in the hundreds of millions of years old, as opposed to our very hard matrixed material that we have here is only, 30, like 25, 15, in that genre, millions of years old. So yeah, that is so cool. I'm definitely envious that you were like running around like getting crinoids as a little kid.
Yeah, we called them Indian beads, and I do believe the Indians may have used them for jewelry. Some of them.
Yeah,
I've been told that by a native, but that's what we called them.
Yeah, that's my
now I know different.
Yeah, nice.
Karen, did you have a wish list?
Yeah, of course. and I think that I have a tie for the top of the list, and one of those things is the air scribe, that needs to be in my studio, because I feel like Edward Scissorhands, and there's an emptiness in one of my hands of, like need the air scribe to clean off the fossils, because we definitely get them. And there's a fossil downstairs when we have Mam Lambo on, whenever that happens, like I will show this one fossil that I haven't shown yet. And I need an air scribe, but it's like juicy, big, gnarly awesomeness. And then the other thing is something that I have been pining over. I really have wanted a facet machine, and not just for faceting like the sunstones that I have a plethora of, but also so that I can make some thin slices, thin sections of the petrified woods, so that I can carry on my investigation of the woods under the microscope and doing some ID and that sort of thing. And so unless you like work in a lab in, a major kind of situation like at Stanford or something like that, you're not really able to make the thin sections very easily, but you can on that machine. And so actually science, like the science part of doing the wood ID project is the reason why I want that. And so those are the big items on my horizon for sure.
Nice. You just reminded me of I forgot there was one item I didn't want to add on to my list. I want an empty bus, like a small bus.
To do your work in?
Right.
Mobile lapidary shop.
Yep.
Awesome.
That'd be really cool to be able to not only teach classes here at home, but if someone wanted, say, someone over the mountains, I want to do a class, like I can always offer classes for a little bit extra money for gas. That'd be really cool to be able to do that. But small buses,
a lot of extra money for gas, actually.
Yeah, especially right now with things keep going up. They stop going up.
Yeah, the thing is, I think ours is like 12 to 17, just dependent on where we're driving.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Diesel though, so it's good. Cruises nicely.
But I think we're ready for show and tell.
Yeah. Yes.
Kelsey.
Okay, but I did not have a lot of time to prepare for show and tell, so if my
Kyle's
show and
fault.
tell is lame, I apologize. Kyle says it's not lame, but I don't even know what he picked, honestly, from what I sent.
We can go with all of them. Set the one agate and then one agate with the face and then the death plate. So we can go with all of them.
Oh, we're going with all of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Says me.
So we just want to talk about each of them, and I'll keep track of the time so I can know when to add in the photos.
Okay, so both of the agates you're going to see, one is just a face that came out of a stone that I was tumbling, and then the other, I can't pronounce this word right. Kyle, do you know how?
Give me 1 second here.
Bahai, Karen.
Bahai. Bye.
Yeah, that type of agate that I just thought was really a tremendous piece. So those are photos I shared. Kyle, if you want to show them.
Yep.
He's showing them
Oh, I
like
can't
over our
see.
faces at this exact moment in time.
Oh,
It's
cool.
the beauty of editing.
Yeah.
It's in the post print.
It's the beauty of editing between now and when this video goes out.
And then the next photo is just me in a creek with one of the crinoid, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, fossil plates that I found over the summer. That summer, I carried so many fossil plates with a friend that my leg muscles were so sore for like a week. It was just a good day of rock hounding. I carried so many of them back. So if you two ever need fossil plates, I'm your girl.
Sweet.
Gotcha.
Okay, on the list. So tell me more about like dragging these death plates. Out here we call them mass die-offs. Like you got this like section of the sedimentary rock that gets impacted with all these wonderful creatures, unfortunately, that demised at the same time. So tell us about that.
I really don't know much about it. I just do not study fossils much at all.
Your experiences from your river, like you're saying that you're pulling these things out. Like, tell us about finding that, because like I was squeal so loud that people in the next county would hear me.
They're just loose plates throughout our creeks. And one time I even found one that had shiny bits of shell still on it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Theo should be here because he'd be like, oh, nigger, oh.
Only once, but it was very cool.
That's so neat.
It would be neat to have one of you that know more about it, look at one of the plates, because there's more than one thing going on them. It's not all just crinoid or crinoids. There's a ton of it's like, it looks like a net almost, or cheetah or snake skin or something like that. And I don't know what it is, honestly.
Try sending some pictures to Theo. He might be able to.
No, send it to me.
Oh, and Karen.
And Theo would be great. He's a wonderful resource with these kinds of things. He knows a lot about actually that side of the country. But I would love to do that research as well. So maybe we'll have to get together and do like a swap.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fun.
Fossil dork.
This is what the Rockhound Connection is all about.
The Rockhound Connection, like we need to do like the Kermit song, I'm not gonna get us any YouTube strikes for the Kermit song, the Rainbow Rock Connection. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna sing.
It's okay.
You get it.
So yeah, Karen, what is your show and tell?
Okay, so that video that I dropped earlier this week, I think that was the day before yesterday, whenever this airs, was a Bluebed Richardson's Rock Ranch Thunder Egg. And I will definitely at some point not just be high centered on Thunder Eggs, but right now, like, if you hear from me, you're probably hearing about Thunder Eggs because these are so much fun to cut. And I have that new saw from High Tech, the 10-inch slab saw that is blowing my mind. So anything that my 20-inch rock saw can't do, the 10-inch one will.
Awesome.
And Steve is kind of laughing at me because every day I'm down. I put it in my lower studio. So there's a studio right underneath where I'm sitting right now that is a little bit more like basementy, and I can put a saw there, and I've been sawing every day.
Oh man.
Ridiculous. Yes. Because there's so much stuff to look inside. And I actually have like I said, I have a bunch of orders going on right now, being is that it's the holiday. And so One thing that I had a really hard time with before was fulfilling earring orders, because if you create your rock shapes with a sledgehammer, try to get two of them the same when you bang something with a sledgehammer. Like, earring pairs didn't really present themselves easily. And so I've been doing cutting for getting some earring pairs. And so that's actually some
Beautiful.
right. Yeah, that one just blew my mind. I have a client that loves to send me rocks that they find. I you know, produce what I can out of them anyway. Now that I've got the saws, I can make the slabs, but before I just go ahead and make cabochons out of breaks. And I would make a custom piece of jewelry for them, and they're addicted to this. And so she sent me this wonderful valley out of the Willamette River, carnelian, but with those really fancy fortification lines that absolutely blew my mind. And so I'm having trouble. I'm gonna really have trouble getting those made and actually sent off to her, because I will want to keep them.
That is the trouble with us creators. We make something beautiful, then we don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I was thinking of you, Kyle, because you take on so many customer orders where you're working with people's stones that are incredible. Like, and you're putting, these professional shines onto them, and they're incredible. And so I would imagine that half the time you're just going like, this is going to get lost in the mail. Wink, wink, nudge. I don't want to let this go.
Oh, I've had that happen where I did a bunch of fire obsidian for somebody, and it was one of those things where it's like, I really don't want to be doing this because it's not mine. Especially when it's fire obsidian, it's like I want this for my collection.
Right.
But I polished what I could and I sent it back, and I didn't really make much off that, but it is what it is. And that's actually kind of one of the reasons why I don't polish obsidian for anyone else anymore except for myself. Yeah.
Right, because me keepy.
Well,
I want it as mine.
Between that, it's a lot of work.
Kyle, be honest. After you saw your piece of fire obsidian on my TikTok, did you have any regret?
No. Because I know it was going to a good home, and I wasn't going to worry about it.
But it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you did, because it's so beautiful, and it probably was hard to let go of, honestly.
No, that was a good piece to let go, because it wasn't like a giant piece where I'm super dedicated to, but it went too good. Oh my gosh, can't talk. It went to a good home, and I don't regret it. I don't have any regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
I swear. And so, like, actually, this is interesting, because this last one is going to circle back to you guys with a question also. And so, DOPS. Right. We do our polishing. Some of us like to, do our DOPS or do our work by hand. And then other of us like to throw it on DOPS if we don't want to get our knuckles in the business and all that kind of stuff, or lose our fingernails. And so this is a bouquet of DOPS that I created to make some of the earring pairs. Again, I was so challenged before I had the saw. Now I'm making earring pairs that are actually, they want to be together. But I had this like interesting thought, and I think that Jared started this from Currently Rockhounding. And so I'm making these slabs, or, I want to say slablets from smaller specimens. You're just making these tiny little truffles of like, oh, okay, I might get like 3 cuts off of this or something like that, but they're beautiful. What do you do with them? What do you do with them?
It depends on the shape of them and how big they are. Sometimes I put them in my tumbler and they make great filler. And then I just end up with gemstone chips. I mean, you might not want to do that with something really rare, but agate, jasper, it makes great filler.
But like, so I think I recall that Jared once asked of the general rock hounding public, what do you do with all those cabs that you make? Like he couldn't figure out where all the cabs go. And another song that I'm not going to sing right now, but like it occurred to me that I know a lot of people who slab up a lot of beautiful stuff, and sometimes they make cabs out of them or whatever. But honestly, like, so do you just draw your cabs? Do you make things out of them? What happens? What happens next for you guys? And folks that are watching, throw that in the comments. I would love to hear, like, when you're, Sandmaker cut. When you're done cutting, what do you do? Like, do you love on just the slabs? Do you polish those and make them into specimens? Do you cab it? What happens to your slabs, Kyle?
They're all in a they're all in a plastic drawer underneath the workstation.
They're in Fort Knox.
I mean, the unworked ones. I mean, I typically like to have like a stockpile of material for projects, because I don't normally make the typical cab, like the typical shaped cab. I usually do like weird shapes because I like working with weird shapes. Hence it's kind of like the Bob Ross episode where I just kind of broke a slab of moss agate and just polished one of the pieces up and like called it good. But like all the weird pieces, I keep just in case I have like a weird project that needs like a weird shape, or if I have a project where it needs like a certain size and I don't want to spend a bunch of time on the saw, I'll just bust up the trim saw, so I'm not having to cut like a bunch of big pieces. I have a small pieces to work on, but for the most part, for projects.
That's basically exactly what I do too.
Yeah.
And if those little scraps, I either throw them in a baggie or throw them in my tumbler for filler. So,
I mean, for like the small pieces, I wouldn't mind kind of doing what Jason over there at Rockhounding Life did, where he made a ring.
So I loved that. Yeah.
So it'd be really cool to get like all those small pieces and put it like in one of those rings, and then glue all of them like into place, and then grind it down. I've never done a ring like that before, so that'd be kind of a fun.
Maybe I can use all my broken opal for that.
Yes, you can.
You may have just saved it. That would be neat.
That's a great idea. Like inlay of any kind isn't that hard to do. Like I a long time ago, when I first heard of inlay, I took a Dremel tool and to some wooden beads that I had, I just dremeled some, routed some divots in it, and I had some ground up opal, and I had some ground up pearl, and I had some ground up like other things like garnet and that sort of thing. It's like stuff that bit it, like beads that cracked and stuff like that. And it's just super glue, let it set, take the polishing stuff out again, and these wooden beads were insane. And it was just like it was stuff that would have been like literally garbage, but I had some opal chips, and I was like, this can't be garbage. Like, I have to figure out something. And so
I bet that was beautiful.
Yeah,
I think I've even go ahead.
Sorry. When you put that fire opal on top of silver, it lights up too. So
yeah, that stuff is gorgeous.
I was going to say that I think I've saved some brass shavings from a key machine. I thought it'd been like really cool for an inlay.
Yep.
And I don't know where they went.
Oh.
They're probably somewhere in the garage. I just don't know exactly where.
What's weird about metal is like you're not entirely sure how it's going to oxidize while the glue is setting.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes I think it works and sometimes it might not. Like, that I think is the luck of the draw.
Yeah. One way to find out.
Yep.
And then going back to show and tell, we do have something from Kurt. So he sent in a little video of some rhyolite that he polished, and I'll enter that right here.
For my show and tell, I wanted to show these two pieces from the Tennessee cutting video. This is a piece of rhyolite that I was polishing up into a cabochon. freeform. And then the next one is another piece of rhyolite from Tennessee. They turned out very beautiful.
It's beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at that.
So thank you, Kurt, for that submission.
And
then,
that was rhyolite, right?
Yep, 2 pieces of polished rhyolite from Tennessee that he did in a previous video. And then going to my show and tell, be really quick. I did a lapidary class a little ways ago, and one of the gals saw a piece of thunder egg that I was using for a practice piece to show them how to polish a stone, and they said that looked like Baby Yoda.
Aww.
Does it not? It's like the silhouette of Baby Yoda.
That's hilarious.
It's adorable.
I don't know if the opposite piece of this looked like the same thing, but I'll have to pull that out and see what I can find. But I thought that was kind of funny, and so I decided to keep it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So that's
with a great mirror finish, might I add.
It's not the best. I had to redo it.
Pretty good.
It's not good enough.
Okay.
It still has the polish on there. I haven't washed out the polish yet, and so I have to kind of redo it because I can still kind of see some of the sanding marks. I am a perfectionist, if you guys haven't already caught on to that. But as for show and tell, that was it for show and tell. And now we can get on to words of wisdom. Kelsey, what you got?
I did not prepare for this.
I can go first if you'd like.
Sure, go for it.
So I'm going to borrow a little quote from Bob Ross because when I first started my new job a couple months ago, there was a piece of paper with a quote from Bob Ross on it. I thought it was so appropriate that I left it there. It's still on the wall to this day. And do something every day that makes you happy. Bob Ross. And I can say for a lot of us, we do that with our lapidary arts. And it's a very therapeutic, relaxing hobby. And it makes us happy because we make beautiful things.
Absolutely. And, if you can make that into a job, even better, eh?
that would be nice. Less stress.
Yeah.
Less gray hairs.
Awesome. That's a good one.
Karen, did you want to go next? We can work backwards.
Sure. Yeah. So mine is be careful what you wish for, because they do come true or they get answered. So wish really big if you're serious, because like at during the summertime, I was still on a saw drought that had happened for like years without saws, and I've got a 20 and a 10 now, and I couldn't have told you like 2 months ago that would have been the case. Dream big, people. And then one of those 2 things that is on my Christmas list that I was just talking about looks like it's on the very, very immediate horizon, and I would have never dreamt it. And so I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but like, yes.
Nice.
So be careful what you wish for. And if you're serious about it, then wish big, people. All right.
And be specific with your wishes.
Yes.
Kelsey.
Okay, so I think what I've decided my words of wisdom will be is never underestimate yourself. And if there's something that you like that sets you apart from others, don't ever be embarrassed to share it with everyone, because you never know where it's going to lead. I just can't imagine if I had just kept going on like I was and decided to never share it with what I do with the world, it would have been kind of a letdown. All I missed out on. Take that chance, make that video.
We would have missed out too.
I know. I would have never met all these amazing people. I grew up in a town where no one rockhounds. I never had one friend to rockhound with. And now I just have this beautiful community of awesome, talented, creative, amazing people. And I'm just so happy for that.
They gave me goose pimples.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Yes.
So, again, thank you for joining us for this podcast, and it was great having you on. It was great for your video for the Thanksgiving episode, and we're glad that you're in this community with us, and hopefully you get to have 1 million followers, and you can continue to lead positive vibes out in the universe.
Thank you. Same to you too.
We'll try. Karen, if you would be so kind to take us out.
Surely. Okay, so go check out KDarn89 on all the social medias and catch up with all of her wonderful content. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you guys for watching. We love you. Seriously. All the outpour of fantastic comments that you guys have been giving us. Leave your wishes for what you would totally want in the comments. Hit us up for the Discord at rockhoundroundtable at gmail.com. And you guys know what to do. Keep rocking and keep creating. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Rock on.